Welcome to another edition of Coffee Break Sports. I am your sports barista, Rod the Magnificent. Come into the break room, have a seat. We got a lot to talk about. Get in here. The water fountain is right there. Get you a drink. The coffee machine's right there. Get you a drink as well. We're here to talk about the divisional round, my divisional predictions. What are yours? We'll put them down there in the chat so we can discuss who you got going to the conference championship games. And this is a continuation from last week's episode, all my wild card predictions that I made. But before I get into that, you see those alerts? You see those things down there, those alerts that you're supposed to tap? It says subscribe, it says like and follow. Hit those buttons. Get that out the way. It's real quick. Just get it out the way. Hit them while you're watching the video and you'll get notifications every time I drop a new video. Also, share these videos with your loved ones because I'm sure they will all love to hear this content. Now, let's get into it. Before I get into my divisional round picks, just want to say my record from last week was not so good. I went 3-3. I said it in the last video. I'm no expert when it comes to who I think is going to win the Super Bowl or anything like that. I like to do this on a week-to-week basis to keep the content up. And so, yeah, I went 3-3 last week. Baker Mayfield almost pulled one off for me, and it wasn't his fault why they lost that game. It is what it is. The results are the results. And here we are with the divisional round of matchups. Before I get into those matchups, let's just say a quick RIP to the teams that lost in the wild card, especially this team right here. Bye-bye. Like they say in the new Mufasa movie, bye-bye. See you later, Packers. Come sit right here on the couch with us Bears fans and watch the rest of the playoffs. Yes, you have been owners of our franchise, but we are so used to seeing you guys join us on the couch after one round of playoff football to watch the rest of the playoffs with us. So glad you're here as well. But I'm going to get right into my picks for the divisional round, starting with the Chiefs and the Texans on Saturday. It's going to be a good one. The Texans played the Chiefs maybe a month ago as of this recording, and the Texans didn't do so well. They did come close. They made it competitive against the Chiefs. But I don't know, man. I've been saying this all year about the Chiefs, and I know there's a narrative out there about the Chiefs, and as far as, oh, the refs are cheating for them, and oh, they want them to go to three-peat, and oh, Taylor Swift, I hate Taylor Swift, all this other stuff, right? But let's keep it a buck here, okay? Patrick Mahomes is going to go down in history as one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Number two, we sat back and watched the Patriots win for 20 years, go to 9 Super Bowls, ladies and gentlemen, won 6, lost 3. And I heard very few complaints about how much people hate the Patriots. Now, there were Patriots haters out there, but I felt like there were more supporters of the Patriots than haters. I feel like with Kansas City, the narrative around Kansas City, I feel like the whole world is against Kansas City except Kansas City fans. And I'm a Mahomes fan. I like Travis Kelce. I like their organization. I've always been an Andy Reid fan dating back to the Eagles days. But let's just calm down on this whole, oh, they're fixing the games for the Chiefs to win. You're saying that because you want the Chiefs to lose. All right, you always want the Chiefs to lose. Yeah. Or were there some questionable wins by the Chiefs this year? Yes, I agree with you. But at the same time, let's not make it seem like the refs fix every game that the Chiefs won this year for them to win. Okay, let's cut that out. All right, that's a little small rant that I wanted to include in that. But with all that being said, the Chiefs are an 8.5 point favorite to win this game against the Texans. The Texans defense looked sharp last week. I mean, they put a beat down on the Chargers, surprisingly. And I had the Chargers comfortably winning that game because, you know, the Texans had a ho-hum season. Like, I don't think anybody expected the Texans to have it that easy with the Chargers. I think many people, even if you picked the Texans to win the game, I'm sure you predicted that they were going to win in close fashion. But no, I mean, that defense, they made the Texans look like the 85 Bears defense out there last week. I mean, the Chargers just didn't know what hit them. And from what I hear another sack still going on in Houston right now. I just heard it all the way here from Chicago, Illinois. So yeah, the Texans, if they continue to play defense against the Chiefs, which they're going to need to, that front four is one of the best front four in football with Anderson and a couple of others. I think that the Texans can pull off an upset here. But I think the Chiefs need to get off to a good start. They've been resting for the last 2 weeks. They didn't play their starters. So that's one thing that worries me about the Chiefs here. But I got the Chiefs 8.5 points. I think that's a little bit too much. I think this game is going to be closer than a lot of people think. I got the Chiefs by 3 here, 24-21. And I think they will advance to the conference championship. Up next, we have the Lions going up against the Commanders. The Commanders coming off a nail-biting performance against the Bucks on the road, and they avoided a double doink to lose their playoff matchup or avoid overtime. They still had a chance to win it in overtime. But yeah, they doinked their way into the divisional round, and shout out to Jaden Daniels again, continuing to prove everyone wrong, including me as a Bears fan. It's got me second guessing whether we made a mistake with our first pick, but that's another episode for another day. Bears fans, calm down. Don't go attacking me in the chat. I still like Caleb Williams. Don't worry. Remember, last year, Bryce Young didn't make the playoffs. CJ Stroud made the playoffs. CJ Stroud was being compared to Caleb Williams going into this season, and now CJ Stroud is struggling, and those talks have diminished, right? He had a sophomore slump from his standards, and then Bryce Young, after being benched, had a better second half of the season than CJ Stroud. So don't take too much stock into one season. Yes, Jaden Daniels is going to win Rookie of the Year, but that does not complete the story yet. Both of these quarterbacks, Caleb Williams and Daniels, have a long way to go before we're ready to anoint one of these players better than the other, or whatever the case may be, or if one team made a mistake or whatever. But it is what it is. Jaden Daniels is balling right now. I think the buck stops here in Detroit. Detroit, who didn't rest their starters for week 18 because they had to win the division to beat the Vikings. I think they're going to be a lot fresh, a little bit more fresh than the Chiefs are. They're going to be riding high off that explosive offense. I mean, this offense just looks invincible right now. And there's also rumors that David Montgomery is going to play in this game. So that gives them an extra weapon. I also thought one of the things that was a huge factor as to why the Commanders won last week is the return of Austin Eckler. I thought the team kind of struggled when Austin Eckler was out of the lineup with that concussion for half the season, and I think that's what contributed to the Commanders kind of having a slow period during the midway point of the season after the Hail Mary game. Losing Eckler really affected that offense, and now with Eckler back in the lineup for the Commanders, it gives the Commanders an extra weapon. And I think, now having him is going to make things interesting going into this game. The Lions are a 9.5 point favorite. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Washington's going to have something to say in this game. I think they're going to make this game competitive, and I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I got the Detroit Lions winning 31-27 in this matchup. I think that this is going to be a very exciting game to end the Saturday doubleheader. Now we get to the Sunday doubleheader. We have the Eagles going up against the Rams. The Rams coming off a very emotional victory over the Vikings. The Vikings have a lot of question marks going into next season, in particular with the quarterback situation, with Darnold not playing so well in the last two games that really mattered. Darnold kind of messed up his own bag there, but hey, here we are. The Rams are going on the road against the Eagles, and it's always a good competition when these two franchises meet. The Rams are going into this game as a 6.5, a 6 point underdog. And the Eagles, even though they beat the Green Bay Packers last week, it wasn't in convincing fashion. It wasn't dominating. It was a struggle win. And Green Bay did a lot of things to kill themselves with fumbles and interceptions at the wrong time. I mean, that was just a bad performance, putrid performance by the Green Bay Packers. Eagles go into this game riding high. I'm still not sold on their passing game. I think the Rams have a better passing attack than the Eagles. The Eagles have a better rushing attack. And if I'm the Eagles, slow this game down. Rely on Saquon Barkley to take you to the promised land. That's why you picked them up. Do not go away from Saquon Barkley. The Rams, on the other hand, have a locked-in, it seemed like a locked-in Matthew Stafford, he's got plenty of playoff experience. And Matthew plays very well in the playoffs. As you can see, he continues his streak. And I said the Rams are sneaky good, man. The Rams are sneaky good. They can jump on you at any time, pause, and they are just one of those teams that if you catch them on the wrong week, they can run you out the building. And if the Eagles aren't careful, they're going to have some trouble, which I think they are going to have some trouble. I think the Rams are going to win this game on the road. First road team that I'm picking to win in the divisional round. I think they go into Philadelphia, pull off a close victory by a field goal, 23-20. That is my score for that game. And then last but not least, we have the Bills going up against the Ravens. And this is the showdown that everyone's been waiting for. Two potential MVP quarterbacks going at it. I don't know what to expect coming into this game. I really think that, the Ravens, who have a very impressive running attack, going up against a Bills team that seems like they're spreading the ball around. They're not relying so much on Josh Allen. And I feel like that in the receiver department, I think the Bills have the better receiving core than the Ravens. The running, even though Moss has been great, he's no Derrick Henry. And if you ask any Bills fan that's walking down the street how they feel about Derrick Henry, they're not going to have not so nice words to say to you if you mention, because Derrick Henry has been a nightmare to the Buffalo Bills. Look up the history. He has had some of his best performances in the regular season against the Bills, dating back to his Tennessee days. So if I'm the Bills and I'm a Bills fan, I'm concerned more about Derrick Henry than I am Lamar Jackson. I know the story is Lamar Jackson. I know the story is, can Lamar Jackson get over the hump and get this team to a Super Bowl? It's the same thing on the other side with Josh Allen. Both teams are in similar situations where, I feel like the Ravens' window of opportunity is starting to close just a little bit. I think the Bills, who many people thought the window of opportunity had closed on them after they lost all those players, it seemed like it's reopened again because now they have a combination of young talent, and you got Josh Allen, who's a generational talent at quarterback. Hey, this team might have been resurrected from the dead this year. Even if they don't win this year, they have a chance to win it next year. So if they kind of improve some things on their defense, and that's one thing that I'm a little bit concerned about with the Bills, is their defense. Their defense give up a lot of points. Some weeks they play very well. Other weeks, if they go up against a really good offense, they make me a little nervous. So they got a really good offense coming into the building. The Bills, the weather, the elements going to be there, but the Ravens aren't a team that's not used to playing in cold weather. So you don't have to worry about that. I don't think the Bills have the advantage in the weather department with this matchup because, again, both teams are cold weather teams. So I just think this is going to be a good old-fashioned smash mouth football game. And I'm going to pull for the Buffalo Bills. Yes, I'm going to represent Griselda on this one and pick the Bills to beat the Ravens. I know Ravens fans are throwing stuff at the TV at me as we speak, but I think this is going to be a close victory by the Bills. I got the Bills winning 27-24, and the Bills are a 1-point favorite. Oddsmakers got this as a pick'em game. So to me, it is a pick'em game. It's whoever you think tickles your fancy the most. Is it the Bills or is it the Ravens? Whoever you're a bigger fan of, you're going to go for that team. Those are my picks, and I'm sticking to it. And that will do it for another edition of Coffee Break Sports. I am your sports barista, Rod the Magnificent. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for next week as I drop another video for my NFL Conference Championship picks. Hopefully, I get all of these right this week so we can have something to be happy about going into next week. But until then, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.